Okay, we're going to continue graphing inequalities. This time we're just doing it as a system. Okay, so here's the deal. We have one equation like this. This is our first equation. So I can't use my calculator because there's no y alone. So what are we going to do to get y alone? We're going to have to move the x unit over. So y is greater or equal to, if I move the x over, it's positive, and there's still a 10. Okay, ready to graph this? So y is equal to x plus 10 in my calculator. And this symbol is greater than or equal to. So I'm going to go over to the right here. And on this, I'm going to make it enter, enter. Okay, so now you can see that it's showing me a greater than direction. Good? Graph? Okay. Question, is this line going to be a dashed or a solid line, and how do we know? So I'm going to be solid, and the reason is I can be on that line because it says or equal to it. Okay, so I know that 0, 10, if I activate my trace, 0, 10, I don't know, I might go to the negative, like a -5. So there's another point. -5, 5. So as soon as I can get 2 points, either using my trace button or my table, I'm going to graph. So we said I can be on the line. Okay, I'm not going to do this very hard, but I'm going to just lightly shade the greater direction, just lightly, because it's not the answer. Okay, the other line. Y is less than -3x plus 1. That's the other line. It's ready to go. Y is alone. So it's ready to go into my calculator. So this time I'm going to go to y2. And we got a -3x plus 1. I'm going to go over, over, over. And on this, I'm going to enter a less. This is less. Okay, everyone's good with figuring out how to type them in. Graph. Okay, I'm just going to help you navigate here. So you see how there's 2 equations? If you hit your up or down buttons, do you see how my cursor jumps from I'm on line 2, and if I hit up, I'm on line 1. So down, I hit line 2, okay? So if I'm on line 2, I trace, so 0, oh, no, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Okay, I'm going to go to my table. That's easier for me. Okay, so I'm going to graph this coordinate 0, 1. And then I'm just going to get another coordinate. You always need 2 coordinates. So I can grab another one here, 1, -2. 1, -2. This is in our notes, or it's called 6.3. Not sure what page. Right. Yeah. Okay, what do you want to make on this line? Do you want it to be a dashed or do you want it to be a solid? According to that, we are going to be a dashed because I can't be equal to it. There's a dashed, and then we were less than it. So less than is on this side of it. So I'm above this one and on that one. So which shaded area works for both of them? Can you see this is the shaded for both of them? So any coordinate in that little triangle zone. Okay, I can be on this line, in this zone. I can't be on that line though. Okay, last question. Okay, first line is ready to go. It's going to have a dashed line in it because you can only be less than it. You can't be on it. So here is what my calculator looks like. Okay, graph. I think I'm just going to go straight to the table to get some coordinates. So 0, 3 is a coordinate. 1, 4 is a coordinate. So I can get any two coordinates that I want, plot them. We told ourselves we're going to draw a dashed line. And then we were supposed to be less than the line. So less than the line is on this side of it. I'm just going to draw it really lightly because it's not my answer. Okay, here's the big thing here. I need you to remember this. When you have an equation that does not have a y in it, it is a special line, so just an x value. Okay, it's going to be special. This was grade 10. You learned two special lines. X equals a number will create a vertical line. So if you have an equation without a y, you only have x, that's a vertical line. And when you have an equation with just a y, it would create a complete horizontal line. So these ones are special. Okay, so we have an x value of 4, so we're going to go on the x line, up and down. Is this going to be a solid or dashed line? I'm going to have to be solid. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And sorry, your calculator won't even let you graph that because there's no x equals button, it's y equals. Which side of this is going to be less than? To the right of it or the left of it? left. Okay, now the region that works is this region. Because remember where I'm double shading? That's the region that works. But I threw you a trick, a curveball. Here's what your curveball is. You can only pick whole numbers. So the whole numbers that are in that zone are, I could be on this line, that's fine. Actually, no, those aren't even whole numbers. These are integers. These are the only values that end up working, because you have to be whole numbered. So this is the zone that works, but you have to get whole numbers for X and for Y. Whole numbers can't be negative. Whole numbers start at 0. So these are the only solution points that work. So you have to pay attention. This is the region that works. But when you pick whole numbers, that eliminates your negatives, it eliminates your decimals.